Welcome back to Salos Wildlife Park. Today we're having a bit of fun and building a junkyard for a family of rascals. Let's get into it. Hi, hello, and hey to all of you watching. Just very first thing, and I know I haven't really shut up about this since it happened, but I hit 100 subscribers, so thank you all so much. Every kind interaction really does mean the world to me, and this silly little project is doing quite well, and I couldn't be happier with it. So yes, thank you all so much. Right, okay, so Planet Zoo. This build was lots of fun. I had a few ideas for this. I wanted to play with a rundown habitat for the raccoons, but of course I wanted a bit of a centerpiece, and going with the theme of the park being built on an old schoolhouse grounds, I figured what better thing to go than an American school bus. In the lore and the billboards that I put around the area, it was decommissioned by the county, and the park took it and basically let the raccoons have their way with it. This amazing blueprint, though, I did not do this myself. It is by far the most detailed in the workshop, and it was the easiest to deconstruct, as badly as I felt about doing so. But thank you to Franz 98109810 over on the Steam Workshop for building such a detailed and realistic school bus. It looks exactly like the ones that I grew up riding, so yeah, perfect. And it was just a lot of fun kind of decommissioning this bus and making it rusty, making it hollowed out, because I wanted it to be to double as the hard shelter for the raccoons. And with the climbing frame in, they do actually use it quite a lot. So mission success. But raccoons, being the clean little guys they are, need a place to wash their hands. So I added in a very small and not very special pond, but it is in there, and I tried to make it as easy for the raccoons to get in and out of as possible. And for the overall theme of the habitat, I did decide to go with a junkyard feel. Logically, a park of this size goes through a lot of cardboard boxes, plastic pieces, anything that food comes in, or just whatever. They have a lot of supplies, so I figured it would make a lot of sense for them to reuse those things as many times as possible. So I've thrown in a lot of boxes, old tires, just everything I could think of to fit into the junkyard theme here, and it was so much fun. This is definitely not my favorite habitat in the park by far, but I did have a lot of fun doing it, and I'm really glad that I decided to go through it with such a laid-back and fun idea. But because the animals are quite small and sometimes not very active, I wanted it to be fairly small, and basically just busy with all sorts of enrichment on each corner, so there's constant traffic across, and that also works the best with a wide viewing area. Basically it goes all the way around like a coliseum almost. And as you saw in the opening cinematic, this is actually a new area of the zoo that I've properly named and have decided on not necessarily theming, but it's just aptly called the forest. I wanted to simulate a bit of a mountainous forest, to provide shade for our guests, because I've been so constantly worried about shade structures and all of that, but I figured what better way than some natural shade, right? And I also have quite a few forest dwelling species that I want to get into the park. The raccoons and the singular skunk, her name is Lana, she's very lovely, are just the first residents of this new area. So really excited to get more into it, and I think I'm going to do the flip side as well on the other side of the zoo. Gonna do a bit of like a desert, New Mexico kind of feel, but still stick with the aesthetics of the park. I did actually download a few more mods because I just adore this project, and there are a couple of American animals that I really wanted in here. I don't plan to use mods in the long term, but I do very much just want a couple of specific North American animals in here. And back to the build, sorry. I am in Sandbox, so I can absolutely just turn off escapes, but I do like things to be a bit more on the realistic side, so I did try and add in a few raccoon-proof barriers where they were needed, but my main idea was just lots of big rocks that they couldn't necessarily climb up, and some hot wire where it was needed. And as always, I use a lot of the blueprints. I am fully capable of making things myself, but I find that it's easier to go about Planet Zoo when I give myself 1, 2, maybe 3 primary missions in a build, and just let everything else kind of fall into place. Basically to just avoid the massive burnout that can come from huge creative games like this. So if you are curious about anything that I haven't mentioned, please let me know, and I will just find it on the workshop for you. I just, to go digging for my own sake is a bit much. And finally, if you're new to the project, my last video was actually a tour of the park, and I go over quite a lot of the lore, the plans, how long things have taken, my general ideas, so if you haven't seen it, do give it a watch. It's a different style of video. I'm just walking around the park with you. So yeah, really curious to know if you guys like that format. I'm wondering if I should do more, not just that style, but things like tier lists, or, the blueprints that I can't live without, the species that I love the most in the game, basically the clickbaity titles that a lot of creators do, but that is mostly just because I like talking about Planet Zoo. And we pretty much know that Planet Zoo 2 is coming in the next year or so, or at least the announcement is, but I have so many ideas and wants, and to be honest, if I am just in the gym, my mind is wandering, that's where my brain goes. I have so many thoughts and about many things, but yeah, I have really high hopes for it, and I just love talking about it whenever it comes up in the few Discord conversations that I do have. So all of that to say, I am just curious what you guys think. Format videos, what you want to hear me talk about during these speed builds, any of it. Very open, because I know the Foxes video I did a lot of story time, which I wasn't sure about, but maybe people enjoyed my adventures in West London with the Foxes. Okay, build. It's time to talk about the actual build. Yeah, so luckily the Raccoons use the cardboard box enrichment, so I could just pull all of these props. Mostly I think they're from like the conservation pack, but essentially this just allowed me to make the enrichment boxes look like they were part of the natural landscaping, the landscaping being a junkyard. But yeah, this is me just going through and pulling every prop that I think could work here, and trying to make it look as messy and lived in as possible. But to be honest with you guys, there was a lot of playing around that I didn't film or just deleted the footage of, trying to get things pretty much exactly how I wanted them, seeing what did and didn't work. I tried my usually perfected method of whacking a few dead trees down, and I just didn't get them to where I wanted them to be, and the places that I wanted them were pretty much escape routes for the raccoons, so this is probably the first habitat in the entire park without a dead plant in it, officially. I think I did an alright job selling the illusion. I probably spent 2 hours going through the props in different, periods, of course, but just going in and out and seeing if I could spot anything new. You know, I saw a space and I was like, okay, that could really use a bit of junk. And it was fun because I do very much have a short attention span when it comes to building. I jump from one thing to another, which isn't the best for videos, but you know, just how we play the game, right? For the tour last week, I was working on the entrance road system and basically the outside of the park. And my partner, who has watched me start, I think, 4 zoos in the last year, walked up behind me, saw an entrance building, and I'm pretty sure was about to have an intervention for me. Just sat down and was like, "You are not starting another zoo." But luckily for him, I am hellbent on finishing this one, even if my PC goes out first. But I am, of course, thinking about the next zoo, and I do have ideas, but nothing concrete. So, for the moment, sticking to this. I have done a bit of building in Prehistoric Kingdom as well, and I'd like to film a couple of videos for that. I'm still very new to the systems. It's not, I don't want to say as intuitive as Planet Zoo. I'm just used to Planet Zoo, so learning anything else or jumping between 2 things is difficult. But I'm still very interested in it. I think it has a lot of potential, and it's already an amazing game. So I'd like to explore that a bit more. And as well as the new Jurassic World, which, you know, everyone is talking about. But yeah, I'd like to play the 3rd in the series. I only played the first one. I didn't get my hands on 2, and to be honest, the first one was quite a letdown for me, but I am much more a builder and aesthetics person, as you can see, and it seems that they have introduced really good modular building systems, creative, just more creative freedoms, so excited to see if the hype has been worth it. And it's also just really great to see what Frontier has been up to. You know, I mean, all of these things for Jurassic World Evolution, for Planet Coaster 2, there are a lot of things that are in place in existing games that Planet Zoo 2 could very well benefit from. Right, so before we move on, yes, I put a feeder in the big tire. I was very pleased with that idea. I put in some rocks and mesh to support it. And for the big central feeding station, I wanted it to carry over the cluttered look, so I went ahead and added in some food props. I'm sure raccoons like watermelon, right? I can see them holding a little slice and munching it. And we are slowly getting towards the end of my prop crusade, and that means lots of foliage work. That means checking on the needs of the animals, the traversable area, all of that. And as you've probably seen in the background, they are in the habitat. They have told me that things are okay, but they're not completely satisfied with the amount of hard shelter, which I had really hoped would not be the case because, of course, I wanted the school bus to be the thing. But the raccoon spoke, and I didn't want to turn off the setting because I've been very good about that realistic side thus far. So I had to go ahead and build them an extra small cave situation, and thankfully that did help the majority of the problem. Just a small bit of an eyesore, so I hid it away and covered it with all the foliage in the world like I did with the rest of the habitat, as you can see. And because of this cave, I think I do actually get rid of that second climbing frame, the tree there. The raccoons didn't mind the loss, so all good. But yeah, I figured this was the best way to go about it, just because the, I already had so many rocks in place, and I could just basically pull the facade out to create a small cave for them. And we are coming up on the last couple minutes of footage, so before we get to goodbyes and the cinematics. This forest area will be about 4 to 5 habitats. I'm still deciding on one, and it will include a restaurant, maybe another facility. But yeah, I'm excited to get started on the next habitat for Saturday's episode. Well, I have started on it. I just deleted everything because I was not happy with it. But anyway, this episode's cinematics will be a little bit short because, the area is just quite blank at the moment. And yeah, it's a small habitat, basically 50% rock, so not a whole lot to see. But I hope I've showcased the animals and how they've used the space well enough. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you've made it this far in the video, give me a raccoon in the comments. I see other creators doing that, and it's one of the cutest emojis, so yeah, go for it. And I will see you guys again this weekend for another speed build. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and again, thank you so much for the subs, the likes, the comments. It all just means the world to me. Alright, enjoy the cinematics, and I'll see you on Saturday. Bye. Thank you so much, everyone.